All right. Welcome everybody to today's webinar on online learning success. Today is April 12th, 2023. Just to kind of give you a rundown of what the day is going to look like, it's an hour-long webinar. We'll go ahead and start the webinar off with a quick overview of our CalTAP program and how we work with veterans across the state. After that, you're going to hear from your local interagency network coordinator, Merlene Steinbeck. She is going to talk to you about how they work with veterans as well, some of the outreach work that they do with the veterans in their specific regions and whatnot. And then we'll go into the main part of the webinar, which focuses on online learning and how to be successful. After that, we will have a Q&A session. So if you do have any questions, feel free to hold them until the very end. If you can't, we are opening up the Q&A section on Zoom. So if you do have questions, feel free to add them to the Q&A post. Either myself or Merlene or my colleague Jana can get to those and answer them right there on the spot, or we'll use them to facilitate the Q&A section at the end. We are closing down the chat because we are going to be filling that with resources, and we don't want to get your questions lost in those resources. So we will have that blocked off, but you will see that Jana will be posting links to a resource book and certain websites that we discuss for you to have and to look at when you need to. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. My name is Michael Cisneros. I am a training coordinator with the California Transition Assistance Program. I've been with CalTAP for about 3 years now. Like what I do, I came from the school system. I was a student myself, went all the way up to my master's, definitely understand how to work with online classes and the benefits and the pitfalls of online classes. I do understand. So, happy to be here today to talk about those lessons with you. So let's talk about CalTAP first. What is CalTAP? CalTAP is a transition assistance program that's designed to inform and connect veterans of all eras to their earned state and federal benefits, as well as provide continuous assistance and support as their needs change over time. And so what we've done is we've developed different pathways that help veterans navigate those benefits, programs, and services that are available to them. Those pathways are an entrepreneurship pathway, an employment pathway, an education pathway, and then we have a general core curriculum pathway of benefits and services that don't fit into those topics that I just mentioned. We have a service provider pathway as well. We don't really talk about that too much during these webinars, but if you do have family members or people within your community that do want to work with veterans, feel free to send them to our website to check out some of that curriculum. It talks a little bit about veteran culture and how to work with veterans and how to be sensitive to their unique experiences. This is your veterans resource book. So one of the links that you received either in your confirmation email or the reminder emails that you received yesterday and today, there's a link to a PDF copy of this book. And I believe Jana is putting another link in the chat as well. So you can click on that and download it to your computer, download it to your phone. The Veterans Resource Book is like gold to veterans. So everything that we discuss when it comes to your benefits can be found in this book. Talks about the benefit, the eligibility requirements, what forms do you need to fill out to get the processes started, where do you turn those in? You'll find all that information in this book. If this was a live event, you guys would have a actual copy of a resource book sitting in front of you right now. But because we are doing it virtually, we are sending out that PDF link. However, if you did want a hard copy of this book, you can always go to your county veteran service office and they can give you a copy. It is free, or you can go to our website and order it that way as well. So how do you use CalTAP online? So if you go to calvet.ca.gov, you can click on that CalTAP banner right there in the middle of the screen. By clicking on that banner, it's going to take you to our pathways page. Mentioned earlier, you'll see the pathways, education, employment, and entrepreneurship pathway. For this example, we're going to click on the core curriculum pathway to see what happens next. But before I do go there, I just want to bring your attention to the archives link down at the bottom, because COVID had forced us to stay put and not travel, we ended up, we started these webinars actually because of that. So all the webinars that we've done over the last 3 years have been recorded and posted on our website for you to view, along with the PDF copy of the PowerPoint slides. So use those as resources. You can go onto our website, check out the past recordings, download those PDFs, get the resources that you need, whether those are contact numbers or information about certain programs. It's all there for you to have. So let's go back now to our pathways page. If you click on any one of these pathways, it will take you to a modules page. So for this example, we'll click on the core curriculum pathway. Takes you to a modules page that looks like this. In the modules page for core curriculum, you'll find everything about the VA healthcare system, claims and compensation. There's a financial literacy pathway down at the bottom. But if you're just curious about what your California benefits are, you can always click on module 5 and that will break it down for you. So what are those benefits? This is just a quick snapshot, or actually, before I go into that, one of the main benefits that we like to talk about is the LEAP, the Local Interagency Network Coordinator. So Merlene is here to talk to you a little bit about what she does. So I'm not going to step on her toes too much, but this is a great resource that's offered through CalVet. Merlene is a CalVet employee. She is familiar with the Inland Empire region, and you can kind of think of them as the liaison between the federal VA, CalVet, and the veteran within their community. They know about the resources in the community. They know about the processes for compensation, processes for the fee waiver. So they basically can be there for you in your area to help you out whenever you need it, whenever they need you. So like I said, I don't want to step on her toes. She's going to come on right after me and talk to you guys about how she works with veterans. This is a quick snapshot of what is offered to you through the state of California as a veteran here. CalVet has a tuition and fee waiver that's offered to the veterans' dependents. So now you can actually use your own education benefits to go to school and send your children to school at the same time. So with that fee waiver, they can actually go to any state-funded school, any CSU, UC, or California Community College for free. We've also made it easier to identify yourself as a veteran. So you can actually have the word veteran printed on your driver's license. This is offered through the DMV. And the DMV also offers a motor vehicle registration fee waiver for those that have 100% disability rating and your disability has to affect your mobility. If you like to be outdoors, there's a reduced fishing and hunting license and a state park pass that's offered at no cost. And then we also have tax programs for veterans who want to open up their own business, for disabled veterans that want to open up their own business, or for those disabled veterans who are looking to find property tax exemptions. The different divisions here in CalVet also provide support, information, advocacy, and support. We have a division for women veterans, our minority veterans. We have a home loans division, which is different than the federal VA home loans program. And then we have our CalVet cemeteries and our homes for long-term care. 3 different cemeteries here in California. There's a 4th one in the mix. I believe it's going to be in Orange County. I'm not sure how far along they are with that cemetery, but we will have a 4th one coming soon. And then there's 8 different homes for long-term care here in California. These homes offer different services depending on where you're going to live. Sometimes they'll offer memory care. Sometimes they'll offer things like, in-home care. Depending on, so it just all depends on where you go, if this is something you're looking into. So before I go, I do want to bring your attention to some common websites that we think you should know, not just as a California veteran, but as a veteran in general. VA.gov is a really important one. So if you're familiar with e-benefits is actually being phased out, and everything from e-benefits will direct you here to VA.gov. So whether you're looking at your records, or you want to take advantage of your education benefits, or you want to file a claim for disability, or take advantage of the VA healthcare system, this website is where you'll start. This is what it looks like when you are signed in and have a profile. This is another website that's pretty cool. This is My Healthy Vet. This is for those that are taking advantage of the VA healthcare system. On this website, you can view your health records, communicate with your primary care physician, set up appointments with them, and then also refill prescriptions. Okay, so if you do want to stay in touch with CalTAP and be aware of the different outreach opportunities that we have coming up, you can always provide your non-DoD email to our CalTAP inbox, calvet.ca.gov. What that does is it puts you on a mailing list so that you get to have a monthly email or a monthly newsletter emailed to you. That newsletter lets you know about the different webinars that are going to be put on that month. They'll let you know about the different service providers that we're working with that month as well. And then you get a quick message from our deputy secretary that's focusing on whatever the topic is for that month. You can always go to our website as well and register for My CalVet. What that does is it kind of tailors the information on the website to what you're looking for and to more specifically your needs. Follow our social media pages, attend any webinars. You can go to our Eventbrite page and register that way. And then fill out our survey. The survey is not necessary, but if you do want to fill it out, you can let us know what we did well today, what we can work on in the future. If there's any topics that you want to know about sometime soon, we could definitely get to those as well. So this is what My CalVet looks like. If you go to any page on our website, you'll find the My CalVet login or register buttons there in the corner. This is what our newsletter looks like. This is actually a little outdated, but it's pretty much the same. You get the message from the deputy secretary. There's a section that focuses on the different webinars that we're working on that month. And then you'll get some news articles and information about the service providers that we work with. You do not have to be a student at so for most of these webinars, we are hosting them through a college. You don't necessarily have to be a student for those webinars. If you do want to attend them, you can simply go to our Eventbrite page or through the newsletter, click on the tickets button and register that way. All right, a quick overview of the CalTAP program. But if you have any questions about what's available to you, or you kind of want to know a little bit more about what I just covered, feel free to email me. That's my email address for the state. Check it daily. And if I can't get the answers for you, then I could probably direct you to somebody who can. So with that being said, let's go ahead and move on now to Marlene Steinbeck. She is the Inland Empire link, and she's going to talk to you about how she works with veterans in that area. So go ahead, Marlene, when you're ready.
Hi, thank you so much, Michael. I am the local interagency network coordinator for CalVet, and I cover Inyo, San Bernardino, Riverside County, so a very large geographical portion of the state of California. Can you move it to the next slide so they could see? I think that there's a map coming up. You guys will see it. But what we do is we provide outreach to service members, veterans, and their families, and we make referrals, and we work directly with the service providers in the network. And we also assist with local emergencies. We provide leadership and advocacy to local communities. And a lot of that is just like for example, I go to 29 Palms, I'll go to March Air Reserve Base, I go to Fort Irwin, all throughout my district, there are bases. So I go and I talk to the service members and the veterans and the families. And I also talk at community colleges in all of the major installations. Next slide. So here's the map that I was talking about. So as you can see, I travel throughout the red area. All of us have different needs in different areas of California. As you could tell by looking at the map, the different parts of California do different things. LA, for example, is more business oriented. They have the port of Los Angeles, Long Beach, that kind of thing. So we have a lot of industry coming through LA. We got San Diego. We've got different things. It's more resort in San Diego. In Orange County as well, you're also looking at different businesses, family collaboratives. You have a lot of working folk, that kind of thing. There's just as many people in Orange County as there is in my entire district. In my area, we have mostly retirees. In Central California, we have mostly farming communities, that kind of thing. Same thing in Central Coast of California. So the needs start to change as you start to look at different demographics. However, each of us are an expert in our region and the resources in our region. And when you move areas, different resources appear. For example, in my area with the retirees and different things, we have something called Heroes Warehouse, where if you need something for your house, they could come in and fill your house with furniture. If you don't have any furniture, they'll make sure that you do. Next slide. Also, I have connections. So my connections are going to be in all of the healthcare systems, throughout the vet centers, throughout the VA medical centers, the clinics, and also throughout the county offices, and of course at Calvet, because I work here, so I know Michael. So I could refer you, like, hey, Michael was talking about something, and I'll be like, oh, let me get hold of him. Also, if let's say some veterans, they just want jobs, so I'll hook them up with the EDD department, or they're having problems with their unemployment, that kind of thing. So I can get them together with the American Job Center. I can talk with different people throughout the state of California, and different benefits as well, nonprofits. My job is to be in the know and to have a direct contact I can do a warm handoff to. Next slide. So here's my contact information should you need me. Or if you'd like to get a hold of another link, you can go ahead and email me, and I'll forward you onto that link as well.
All right, thank you, Marlene. And one thing, Marlene actually does have to step off right now, so she won't be here for the questions and answers portion at the end, but her contact information will be.
I have another
up.
event
What was
actually
that?
I have another live event that in person that I'm going to be tabling out and handing out information.
So her contact information will be up at the end though. So if you do have any questions for her, you can always email her or give her a call, and she should be able to help you out. The links are available for cold calls, so you do not have to email them with a warning or whatnot. You can simply just give them a call whenever you need their help. All right, so let's go on to what we're here for, online learning success. So just a quick overview about my background. Like I mentioned earlier, I did use my GI Bill to go all the way up to my master's. I worked in a community college setting for about 8 years as well. So the school setting and education and this kind of thing is definitely up my alley. So I'm happy to be here today and happy to talk to you guys about online learning and being successful in it. So, all right. So when we think of online learning, there are two different styles of teaching when it comes to online learning. The first is synchronous, and then there's also asynchronous. So synchronous basically involves the student interacting with the teacher in real time. There's also a scheduled time for lectures and discussion. So you're actually meeting up with the class at a specific time on a specific day for a specific set of hours, and learning as if you were sitting in an actual classroom. However, you're sitting at your desk in your home or wherever setting you need to be when you take classes. Asynchronous is the total opposite. So this involves working outside of a classroom setting and at your own pace. Your messages they're being transmitted back and forth to your professor or to other students. However, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're being transmitted back and forth at the same time. You can send an email at one point and wait the whole day to get a response from your professor, sometimes even a whole week, depending on what their office hours are. When you are picking your classes online, they will let you know what kind of class it is. You know that you're picking an online course because of, whether the signs that say that the class time is to be determined, or it specifically says it's an online class. But when you go into the course description, you should be able to find these words, whether it's a synchronous course or asynchronous course. So this is going to let you know what kind of instruction you're going to get, if any. There's pros and cons to both of these types of instruction. So for synchronous, the pros, spontaneous and immediate social interactions are always going to be present when you're taking a class with other students, and you have to actually be present. They foster, there's faster information exchange. And then it's also you're building, a sense of community with your classmates and professors as well. The cons, you run into schedule difficulties, technical difficulties as well. So you want to make sure that you are prepared for those difficulties when they do come. Also, it kind of limits you to the courses that are being taught at a specific time and a specific day. So you're not able to do it at your own pace. So asynchronous course work, yeah, you can do it at your own pace. You learn, which is a pro. The more time, you have more time to reflect and engage with the material. And it requires also, you're, sorry, I'm getting lost right now. So you learn at your own pace with asynchronous instruction. I apologize for that. You have more time to engage and reflect on the material, and you're open to a wider range of students. So you don't necessarily have to communicate with just those in your class. You can communicate with friends who've probably taken the same class in the past. You could communicate with other professors that have taught the same class or are teaching the same class. Some cons, you have limited contact with your instructor. This kind of instruction requires great self-discipline, and you lose that sense of formal learning. So, sitting in a class, learning from an instructor who's teaching who's speaking directly to you, you don't have that setting anymore. So this is all done at your own pace, at your own time. Sometimes students prefer that, sometimes they don't. So just make sure that you understand what kind of courses you are enrolling yourself into, and be prepared for the kind of work that it involves. So during synchronous instruction, so this is instruction where you are sitting with a class and the instructor is teaching at the same time. You always want to make sure you're addressing appropriately and that your microphone and cam are on and working correctly if possible. Dress appropriately. You want to make sure that you're not being distracted, or you're not a distraction, or you're not distracted by what you're wearing. The tools that you're using for the class are working correctly, and they're not, going to spaz out in the middle of the lecture. You want to be in a place that has little or no distractions. Quiet office if you have one. Coffee shops can work sometimes, but pretty loud. So, but if that's something that you could deal with headphones, then that's your spot. But you do want to try to have a space that's quiet and avoid those distractions. If you have children that are at home, talk with your professor beforehand. See if you can actually record the lecture. Maybe keep your cam off, keep your mic off. These are things, though, that you would have to specifically talk to the instructor about. Sign in early so that you can make sure that your cam and your mic work, and that you have everything that you need to be successful for that class period. And then be prepared for technical challenges. So if you sign on early and you find out that, your cam isn't working today, do you know how to troubleshoot that? Do you know who to contact to get the help you need? Or should you contact your instructor and let them know what's going on for that day? So embrace technology. You kind of want to be your own geek squad. So when those moments do arise when your mic is freaking out or your cam isn't working, do you know how to fix it? Do you know where to go online to get the instructions that you need? Is your internet connection stable? And if not, do you know how to troubleshoot that? Technical requirements will be for the programs that you use when you are online. So whether you're in Canvas or using a Google Doc, do you understand what's required to run that program or to use that specific tool? Hardware and accessories. You make sure you're familiar with those. Does your camera or does your computer need a external mic, or does it need an external cam? Those are the things that you want to make sure you have ready to go, you understand how to use, and they are working for the day. And then Zoom, Canvas, Google Suite, those programs, be familiar with them and know where to go if you do need help, either signing on, if you forgot a password, or it's just not working. You want to make sure you understand how to troubleshoot those programs as well. So virtual fatigue is something that's going to happen for the most part for a lot of people who actually take online courses, or maybe you're working remotely right now and stuck in meetings all day. This happens a lot. So what it is it's physical exhaustion that you feel after any video call, conference, or online meeting. This kind of violates the educational design. So, we're used to sitting in class and listening to a professor speak. We're used to the call and response kind of feel when you are in class. However, when you are sitting in front of a screen, it's usually pretty quiet. You usually have somebody like me just speaking the whole entire time. There's not really much engagement going on. So that's what it means by a passive learning environment. Virtual fatigue has been linked to burnout and can affect productivity, engagement, and well-being. So definitely you want to take care of yourself if you are deciding to take all your classes online. You're going to be in an isolated environment. So, what are you doing after class to kind of re-energize? Are you going out to be social? Are you going to the gym? Whatever it is to kind of get your mind off of the day spent in class or spent on meetings is going to be super important. And at the same time, you're also dealing with technology interferences. So if you are taking your classes online and you're sitting in front of a computer screen, maybe your internet connection might go out, or maybe your mic isn't working correctly. So these are the things that also contribute to that virtual fatigue and that stress that you feel in this kind of environment. Structure and organization is going to be something that's going to be pretty important if you do decide to take classes online. Basically, especially if you're doing the asynchronous work. So if you're doing the asynchronous work, you want to definitely take this information into consideration. Determine when and where and how you will learn to study. Super important. Do you have a quiet environment to study in? Do you work well at coffee shops? Can you actually read a chapter in your book at a busy coffee shop, or do you need to go to a library? Do you have an office in your home, or do you need to go on campus for a study hall session, right? Managing your time is super important as well. For me personally, I use 2 calendars, one that's physically in front of me on the wall, and I have another one on my phone. Using both of those calendars keeps me organized. I know exactly what's going on wherever I look, or I know exactly what's going on with my schedule, whether I'm looking at the wall right in front of me or looking at my phone. I have access to that information. So managing your time is going to be super important, especially if you're doing the asynchronous work. Usually you'll get a deadline that's, for a week. You'll get assigned a paper, and then within that week, you'll have to have, either a rough draft done or that 1-page paper done. And you want to make sure that you are hitting those deadlines. And so using things like a calendar can definitely help out with that. Eliminate those distractions. that kind of goes along with determining when and where and how you will study. Basically finding a quiet place, someplace that, is going to be productive for you. Even if courses are not live during scheduled time, watch recorded videos or do the readings during the scheduled times. So yeah, there's going to be times when, so there will be times during the synchronous work where, your professor might not be able to meet during that class period, their scheduled time. So instead they'll have you read a chapter from the book or watch a YouTube video. You definitely want to make sure that you are taking the time to do that. So if your class is rescheduled or canceled for the day, use that time to actually get the homework assignments done. So you want to make sure that you're utilizing every hour that you can to stay focused and meet those deadlines if possible. Again, calendar goes along with managing your time, and do not overschedule. That's going to be important also, which is the reason why, I have 2 calendars to look at. I could easily schedule something on my phone, but if I look at my calendar on the wall and see that there's already something there on that date, it helps me make better decisions for the future. So just a quick little, just some advice on how to work through that. Reflect on your success. This is also going to be important when you are taking those, especially the asynchronous courses. So you want to work on, thinking about what you did well that week, what worked for you that week and what did not work for you that week. If you're taking the synchronous courses, did you feel like your participation in class was, productive, or do you think that, maybe you can ask a little bit more questions on the next period? Think about what worked and what did not work, and then how can you do it differently next time? What adjustments can you make for the next week? Are you feeling confident in your courses, and why or why not? What support do you need? So if you're not feeling confident, think about what it is you need either from your professor, what it is you need either from, the resources at school, or maybe even in your own personal life, what it is what's making you feel this way. And the support, it could be for classes, it could be for your personal life as well. So, do you need that social support because you've been stuck in the house all day or on the computer all day? Do you need the support from your professor because you can't make a deadline, or you have a lot on your plate at that moment? These are the things that you want to ask yourself and reflect on for the next time. So it's key for an effective study and work habits. So life balance and management. This kind of goes along with reflecting. Kind of helps you. This will kind of help you reflect on those things and kind of put things like your actions and behaviors, your emotions, your social activities all into context. So when you are reflecting, you're thinking about what went well for that day or for the week. Think about also your actions and behaviors for that class period or for that week. Did they influence the success or the failures? With that being said, your actions and behaviors, how do they influence your emotions or your physiology? Meaning, did they make you happy? Did it make you sad? Were you excited? Did you feel a little sick? A little anxious, causing some sweating, some irritation, whatever it was. These are the things that you want to focus on when you are trying to reflect on the week. Those all kind of go into each other. So that's why we have the double arrows. So actions, behaviors can influence emotion, can influence your mind, social, spiritual, and physiology, and the other way around. So if you're thinking about one, you might want to consider thinking about the others, just to kind of get a full picture of what was going on that week or during that class period. Why do you think, you know, you were having the negative thoughts while you were in class? Or why do you think you were excited for this class period? Why do you think you didn't answer that question well? Or what could you have done to answer that question well? Just some questions that you can ask yourself to kind of better understand your mindset and go into the day and or the week, and you know, be successful that way. Right. So student veteran, these are just resources that you can get into, whether you're on campus, off campus, resources that we think you should probably be familiar with or can always look into. Veterans Resource Centers are always going to be super important. There at UC Riverside. You guys have a pretty, I've been there a couple of times. It's pretty, a pretty good center. It seems like you guys have a lot of resources that the students can take advantage of, and a pretty active veteran community there on campus, which I like to see. So you guys are, I'm sure you're familiar with the Veterans Resource Center on campus, but stay connected with those counselors, stay connected with the staff members there on campus, attend the virtual workshops if they do offer them. These people are going to help you out with getting in contact with you know, services and programs that they might know of and that could possibly help you out as well. On top of that, there's other campus support that you could take advantage of too. Financial aid is a big one. EOPS if you need it. Library and tutoring go hand in hand. If you need help with writing or math, they have the centers there, career centers for employment and so forth. Off-campus support, these are going to be more of programs and community partners that you can get involved with. So we're Veterans of Foreign Wars and American Legions are veteran, I can't think of the word. But there are programs out there for veterans that can offer them support outside of campus. Vet centers, your county veteran service office is a vet center that you can always go to for support. Swords to Plowshares there if you need legal help, and other Calvet and CalTAP support programs that you can get into as well. All right, so that was my little presentation on online learning success. There's a lot that goes into it, you know, and we've been doing this now for 3 years, so you're probably familiar with with taking online courses. You know, probably have a system already in place, but just kind of understand what it is you're getting yourself into, and understand how your life kind of influences either the day, the class period, or the week, and how you can kind of take control and get those grades that you need. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me. That's like I said, my email address. Definitely can talk to you about some of the online learning tips that I shared. We do have another slide deck from, I believe it's Outside the Wire, where they actually helped us out with another webinar focused on online learning success. So if you want to have that slide deck to look at some of the information that they've provided, you can always email me and I can send that out to you as well. So we'll go ahead and move on now into the questions. I'll bring Jana into the mix real quick. As I mentioned earlier, Merlene is out right now, so she had to step away. But if you do have any questions for the link, that's her contact information. And Jana, have you seen any questions come through yet?
You know, questions did not come through, but I just wanted to remind everybody I just posted a couple more little link. It's okay. Just about I put the Calvet on YouTube. Michael just mentioned that, you know, with the Outside the Wire videos, we have them recorded, some of them. So you can find some of those recorded either on our website or the YouTube channel. And I reposted the resource book as well. So if any questions do come through, I'll let you know, but I'll let you go on with the rest of the slides.
Okay, yeah. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next couple slides while we wait. I wanted to mention that we do have some upcoming webinars that you can attend for the rest of this month. And we also have a few live webinars if you are in the area. We'll be doing this webinar or this online learning success presentation again on the 20th at Chaffey College. That's going to be a live event. So if you do want to attend that one, you can always go to our Eventbrite page and register that way. Otherwise, we have webinars coming up. Again, these are hosted through colleges, but you do not need to be a student to attend them. You can simply go to our Eventbrite page and register that way. Send you the confirmation email with the Zoom information in it. And then when the day comes, we will see you there. Again, this is our survey. It's not required, but if you do have tips or critiques that you want to share with us, please feel free to do it. It won't hurt my feelings. I always want to be better for you guys. And if you guys have any suggestions, I am open to hearing. And so it does look like we still have no questions. So we are done a little early. I'm going to be hanging out for a couple more minutes, but if you do have something something comes up afterwards when everything's all said and done, you can always email us at caltap@calvet.ca.gov. That inbox is checked daily, or you can give that 1-800 number a call. Someone like me, Jana, or Marlene, or any other training coordinators or links will answer the phone, and we can help you out that way as well. So like I said, I'll hang out for a little bit more, but that's pretty much what we have for you today. Thank you for being here, and we will see you at the next one.